Hello, kids. How are you all today? I hope you all are fine and are enjoying online studies. It's now time to move on to the third chapter, that is Too Big, Too Small. Students, now that you are in the second grade, here is a question for you all. Does it ever happen to you that your parents tell you that you are big enough to pack your bags yourself? But if you want to go out alone, they say you are too small. Isn't it confusing? At times they say you are too big. At times they say you are too small. Here is a similar story about this girl called Shanu, whose family calls her big and small at the same time. So, do you want to know what happens to her? Let us read the story to find out.
I can't lift you up, Shanu, says Ammi. You are too big. You can't walk to school alone, Shanu, says Abu. You're too small. Here, first, Shanu's mother, that is her Ammi, tells her she can't pick her up because she is a big girl now. But her father, that is her Abu, says she can't go to school alone. You can't sleep in the baby's cot, Shanu, says Dadu. You're too big. You can't carry the baby to the park, Shanu, says Dadi. You're too small. Now, what happens is her grandfather, that is her Dadu, says that she cannot sleep in the baby's cot because she is too big to fit in it. Students, can you see the cot in the image? Let me tell you, a cot is a small bed with rods on the side so that the baby does not fall off the bed. And her grandmother, that is her Dadi, says that she cannot carry the small baby and take the baby to the park because she is a small girl herself. Next, Shanu is puzzled. Too big, too small. How can she be too big and too small all at once? Shanu is puzzled. She is confused. She doesn't understand why everybody is calling her big and small at the same time. Her Ammi and her Dadu call her big, but her Abu and her Dadi call her small. She was not able to understand what was happening. Too big to wear her old pink frock, too small to make dosas at the stove, too big to climb on Dadu's back, too small to carry the baby on hers. Now she started thinking, why couldn't she fit into her old frock? Was she too big for it? But she was also too small if she wanted to cook food. And why couldn't she climb on her Dadu's back? Was she too big for that? And if she was too big, then why couldn't she carry the baby on her back? Why was she too small for that? She was so confused. She was not able to understand anything. What am I the right size for? Shanu wonders. Ammi smiles and says, why, you are just big enough to go to big school. Now, what happens next is Shanu starts to think, what was she right for? And what was her right size? That is when her mother says that she is just big enough that she can go to school. And you are just small enough for me to carry on my shoulders, says Abu. You are just big enough to take me for my morning walks, says Dadu. After her mother, her father tells her that she is small enough that he can carry her on his shoulder. And her grandfather says that she is big enough that she can take him for walks in the morning. And you are just small enough for me to tell stories too, says Dadi. And you will always be the perfect size for this. All say and give her a warm, wonderful hug. Now, finally, her grandmother tells Shanu that she was small enough to be told stories too. But most importantly, she was just the perfect or just the right size to be a part of the family. And everybody hugged her. So, students, did you all understand this story? Wasn't it easy? And I think you could also relate to it yourself. Am I right? Now, let us quickly take a look at the word meanings and how we can use them in a sentence. The first word is puzzled. Students, puzzled means confused or unable to understand. When you cannot understand something or cannot decide what to do, it means you are puzzled. If we have to use the word puzzled in a sentence, we can say that she was puzzled to see so many people together. Isn't it simple? Moving on to the next word, which is all at once. Students, here all at once means at the same time or all together. Let me give you an example of how it can be used in a sentence. Rima bought apples, mangoes, and grapes all at once. Now, the next word is wonders. Wonders means things to understand. When someone is thinking because they want to understand what is happening, it is called wonders. Let me give you an example of how we can use wonders in a sentence. He wonders if he could go to his friend's party. Next word is perfect. Perfect means just right, which means something that has no mistakes at all. For example, we found the perfect place for the picnic. And the last word is warm. Students, here the meaning of warm means loving. Let me give you an example of how we can use this word in a sentence. The guests received a warm welcome at the hotel.
Well, I hope you all have understood the meanings of the words and how we can use them in a sentence. Read the chapter once again, and in the next session, we will find the answers for the questions that are given at the end of the chapter. Till then, stay at home and stay safe.